Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University. King in Black, issue number 4 of 5. I'm going to make this a spoiler issue and spoiler review and just get right into all that good stuff. Let's talk about who made the comic book. We'll go on from there really quick. Again, spoiler review. So deal with it because I don't know any other way to make this shorter. Okay. Chapter 4, Lightning. Donny Cates is the writer. Now, Ryan Stegman is the penciler, J.P. Meyer is the inker, and Frank Martin is the color art. All three of those most recent ones, the artists, they're the ones who made the cover. VC's Clayton Cowles does the letters, and there's some variant covers. Okay. So, two major tropes used in this comic book. One is nostalgia, and the other one is Deus Ex Machina. The nostalgia was used in so much as there's a being who's talking to, there's someone who is talking to talking to Dylan Brock while Null is right there. Now, Null, mind you, Null, who has conquered and mind-controlled whatever Celestials, who created all life on this planet, including the Deviants, who, after multiple generations, eventually turned into the mutants. And Jean Grey is the mutant in question, who is actually communicating with Dylan right in front of, Null, and Null is not aware of what's going on, and then invades his mind and starts talking to him, and all sorts of stuff happens in here, and it's like, I just don't see her as being that powerful. Now, I understand, if you're an X-Men fan, you'd be like, oh, well, no, you don't understand. Actually, I do. Well, if you would have read, so hold your horses. I have. I'm positive that all the things you're going to say and all the things you're going to suggest that I read, I have, and I have. So let's just stop there. Okay, the clickety-clack, the best and worst thing that's ever happened on YouTube. All right, the comment section. Come on. She's not that powerful. She doesn't have the Phoenix Force on her. The world's most powerful telepath is Professor X. And even if you got all of the telepaths together on Krakoa, at the end of the day, they're not going to equate to a god that can control the being that created the originators of the mutant gene called deviants. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So, no, I simply don't believe that. It's great that, that Donny Cates says, oh, Jean Grey is my favorite mutant. That's cute. That's always cute. I don't care. That doesn't mean anything to me. I could say that Stanley Tucci is my favorite actor. You know who Stanley Tucci is? Because I don't. It's literally a name that I just pulled out, and I'm pretty sure he's an actor. I'm pretty sure he's somebody, whatever. It's like, I'm just like, pull a random name, and I just pulled a random name. I have no idea who Stanley Tucci is. So the fact that I said that he's my favorite actor literally does not mean anything. Do you see where I'm going with this? Deus Ex Machina. Donny Cates uses trope after trope after trope. I've talked about this, and a lot of times it works. But the problem is that the nostalgia trope is one of the most dangerous ones to mess with. Why? Because if you don't have pure substance there to back up that nostalgia, then it's just surface level stuff that, like, balloons are surface level. And you know what happens when you poke a balloon, right? Sometimes that balloon is filled with shaving cream. I'm saying sometimes it's a water balloon. I don't know what to tell you, but balloons pop. So does nostalgia. If there's nothing beyond the surface, if there's nothing deeper than skin deep, right? There's got to be some good filling there, some hard substance. The most dangerous trope to mess with is Deus Ex Machina, because now you've just ruined a story. The idea of Deus Ex Machina is, for anybody who doesn't know, when a writer backs himself into a corner and the only way to fix it is by the clouds parting and the hand of God coming down to correct things. Well, Donny Cates didn't back himself into this. He went running full steam ahead, knowing, I've got the hand of God right here. And that's usually not a good, it's not a good look. It's not a good way to write comic books. It's not a good way to do anything, because at the end of the day, there's a part in here where Reed Richards says, the enigma, solved. It's like, is that what we do in franchises? We take the mystery out of things? Well, sure, let's do that. Let's just tell people how the walkers from The Walking Dead have actually been, come in place. Go and ask Robert Kirkman why he will never reveal where the zombies came from. Was it magic? Was it God or the devil? Was it science? Who knows? He's not ever going to tell the answer. And the reason why is, well, go check that out. It's a solid reason. And it's the exact same reason why we should never solve the Enigma mystery here thing. It's the reason why none of this stuff should happen in here, because God can't fix everything. Now, granted, the God in here is Captain Universe. He's basically Captain Planet, except, +1. Most of the enigma of Captain Universe has been removed because Morlun was able to defeat him. The way that he was done, go and look at the original, what the heck was it called? The Symbiote Wars, whatever the hell that was called. The Spider-Verse, right? Go and check that out. See how that actually happened. It took a lot of the enigma out of it. This, unfortunately, doesn't put the enigma back in. It pulls open the curtain. And it's like, yeah, sure. But it reminds me a lot of Jeff Johns, and not the good Jeff Johns. See, remember, probably the greatest comic book series run that has ever happened was his Green Lantern run. Because what happened? He brings back the Green Lanterns, the original Green Lanterns. He talks about how Kyle Rayner is the torchbearer, and you will respect him, and we believed it. Even if you didn't like Kyle Rayner then, you did after that. Even though we didn't see him being super powerful. I don't want to get into it too much right now. But the point is, you respected him after that. Then we had the Sinestro Wars, which was like, holy crap, it doesn't get any better than this. And then you know what happened? It did get better than that. Because also we had the War of the Spectrums, right? The Spectrum War. And it's like, holy crap, they're introducing all these different colors. Like, this is insane. And then what happened? It somehow got even better with Blackest Night. It's like, oh my God. This comic book run is making more money than many movies are making. It's turning more profit than many movies are making. Holy crap. And then Brightest Day happened. And I'd have rather the DC universe just die, literally. Die. I'd rather the universe have just died rather than going to Brightest Day. You can like Brightest Day. That's fine. Everybody's validated and entitled to like whatever they want to like, including this comic book. It's just the people who will say, oh, Brightest Day was just as good or even better than Blackest Night. Understand that as much as I respect your opinion, I do believe that you are a white rhinoceros. It's very rare to see a white rhinoceros, especially one in the wild, right? And that's what you are. You're a very rare creature, and I'm pleased to meet you. That being said, that's pretty much what Donny Cates is doing, except he's skipping the Blackest Night, and he's going right into Brightest Day, as though he had written Blackest Night and everything that came beforehand, and he didn't. He simply didn't. A lot of these explosive moments are completely undeserved. I'm sorry, you literally reduced Storm, the most powerful weather manipulator ever, and Thor, the most powerful weather controller ever, and you reduced them combining forces to make the lightning into one panel? You couldn't even give me a double-page spread where they're literally lighting up the entire Earth. And for a moment, let's say Null with his black eyes winds up getting blinded by the light for just the briefest of moments. And that's how Jean Grey was able to sneak in and do what she did. Like maybe, right? Maybe something along those lines. Maybe that's what could happen. At least there's an explanation for why Jean Grey is able to do what she does. Instead, it's just, yeah, I'm just going to do this thing because it's, well, why didn't you do that before? There's no reason why you could do that now and you couldn't do it before. So honestly, what was the purpose of this? So many tie-ins, and I know, here comes the comment section. You don't have to read the tie-ins. Thank you very much, Internet Rando. I'm going to educate this guy. Sure you are. I choose to read the tie-ins because Marvel makes them available. I choose to read them because I review comic books. And what kind of a reviewer would I be if I didn't read everything that they're putting out, at least the beginnings of them, so that I can assess, are they relevant to the story or not? And unfortunately, most of them aren't. at least with Hickman, as much as someone may love or even hate what he does, you got to admit that him putting himself as the head of X and saying, I'm in charge of this stuff, it resonates a lot. He gets to say what does and doesn't happen. See, because when you've got Donnie throwing the whole, like, it really feels like it's the end of the universe, and I don't care that it's the end of the Marvel universe, because we know it's not going to end, and the way this is happening, it's too fast, too much, too big, too strong, too loud, and it's like, who cares? It's too much, right? But then when you see the other comic books, the tie-ins and the ancillaries and all the other stuff, all you're really seeing is, oh, hey, there's some stuff going on. Yeah, there's a dragon. Let's take out this dragon. Okay, now let's continue with their story. Okay, let's go. And it's like, who cares? The same dire need of, oh my God, we're all going to die isn't there. So why should I care? Why should any of us care? Right? I don't care. Bringing Eddie back this way is cute. Yay. Honestly, yay. It's supposed to be a holy crap moment, and I think that this is one of the cases where, again, like, I'm being entirely honest. I'm 45 years old, been reading comic books since before Donny Cates was born, and I think that I'm getting close to running my course. Donny Cates more than anybody. No, not really. Actually, Jason Aaron more than anybody. And the biggest fan of Jason Aaron is Donny Cates. But Donny Cates also, and several others every so often, they're all just, like, they're really showing me that comics aren't for me anymore. Or at least the big two. Like, this is what's really turning me off of modern day Marvel and DC. Is that they're relying on too much glim and glam and glitter and flash powder. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if anybody ever read the Dragons of Summer Flame. This was technically the fourth book, not really though, of Dragonlance. Do I have them up close? I do not, unfortunately. But the Dragonlance books are amazing Dungeons and Dragons fantasy books where you have this character, Raceland Majoret, who is this weak, frail person whose only real gift in life is magic. And he actually winds up becoming powerful enough to defeat all of the gods of his universe. And it's a really brilliant couple of stories, right? The original three, and then the sequel trilogy. Those 6 books are some of the greatest reading you will ever read in any fantasy literature ever. I would say that they are especially with the second trilogy, they are easily on par with anything that Star Wars has ever done, and they're amazing. Lord of the Rings has nothing on these books. That's just my opinion. And it's interesting that with Dragons of Summer, which would basically be the 7th book, I guess, Dragons of Summer Flame, you get to see Raceland reduced to something very pitiful, very pitiable, because you know what he's capable of, and you know why he's not doing that. And it's an amazing story, and it's tear-jerking. It really is. But for the sake of conversation, flash powder is used. Flash powder, which makes a big bang and a big flash, but it has absolutely no substance, right? There's nothing behind it. It's just, And, yeah, that's pretty much what I'm reading nowadays in so many of these comics. Again, the most dangerous trope to use in comics is Deus Ex Machina, because it just invalidates everything. I'm going to give you an example of how it invalidates everything. Nick Spencer, who's doing all this incredible work in his Amazing Spider-Man series right now. The idea that God has returned to Earth, all right, Captain Universe. He comes back and he's going to handle Null, and I know he's only meant for one purpose or whatever, but so could, like, Spider-Man's here, like, could he just also say, Captain Universe, you were part of me twice now, right? Like, me specifically, Peter Parker. Could you help me out and go and take out Kindred for me and just cure him of everything and make him regular Harry again? And could you just handle the Kingpin's problem, all this stuff that's happening, and take care of these tablets that actually go back to ancient Lemuria, which is back with the Elder Gods, which possibly on par with Null, right? No, No, I don't think that I would want that. In fact, I'm positive I wouldn't want that. I enjoy the idea of a story actually playing out. I don't need things solved. I don't need riddles answered. I don't need to know why the walkers are in The Walking Dead. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to know the secrets of the universe. I don't want a happy ending. I don't want a happy ending where, oh look, the Hulk is finally cured. Bruce Banner is cured of the Hulk and the Hulk is cured of Bruce Banner. Like there's a happy ending and we can all hug it out. Because you know why? I want to read the next issue. And nobody wants to sit down and read the next issue of Hulk or Bruce Banner playing with a cat and going to his job and then coming back and like that's his life and what he's watching on TV. I don't want that boring life. I want to read a superhero life. That's what I want to read. So, yeah, I think that the important part here is that the writers, many of the writers, not even most, just many of the writers nowadays, and I gotta wonder, is Donny Cates involved in it? Is Donny Cates one of these people who don't understand the purpose of modern comics, who don't understand the purpose of a franchise? Because at the end of the day, look, I get it. The man's is moving on to, or he could move on to bigger and better things. His God Country is going to become something special. I'm sure his Redneck is going to become something special. A lot of his work is going to become big time movies. Maybe his crossover. I'm sure the guy's going to go more into some independent stuff. And I'm very glad that he will, because that means that he won't be in Marvel and DC. That means that he won't be, messing up the history and the continuity in the Marvel. Actually, the continuity is very different. Yeah. And yet somehow I'm able to explain it to you. So maybe read more comics or listen once in a while, right? I don't know what else to say. At the end of the day, coming up and just solving problems and just, I'm going to, whatever, that's always cute. The problem is that now if you move on to bigger and better things, movies or something like that, what did you leave everybody else with? You left everybody else with a mess to clean up. Your mess, right? This is one of the reasons why in the WWE and all of wrestling in general, the last match that a person has in a promotion, it's usually something where you're going to promote somebody else, including The Undertaker, right? Everybody, John Cena, everybody, the last match that you have, you usually lose that match. So you can give somebody else the rub, so you can give somebody else a push and say, oh, look, this person retired me, right? Didn't work in the Baron Corbin thing because F Baron Corbin. But everybody else, you know what I'm saying? That's the whole reason why these things happen. That's the reason why they lose their last match, to give some kind of credence to the other person. John Cena did it, for crying out loud. Everybody, for the most part, does that. It's important for the continuity of the business. And I feel like it's a very narcissistic thing to do, to just come in and just start changing things, whether you're going to leave or not. It's like there's if you don't understand what I'm saying, then I ask you, did you like the Ghostbusters reboot? Because if you didn't like the idea that torches were not passed, it was just erasing old characters and injecting these new characters. I don't care if they're males or females or what their gender is. I don't care. You erased previous characters and wrote in new characters as though those older characters, those previous characters, the whole reason why we came to see a Ghostbusters movie in the first place, or the reason why we would, is specifically because it's a franchise. If you're going to pass the torch, then pass the torch. Don't erase the only reason why we're coming back in the first place. There's a reason why there are fans already there. We know who Captain America is. We know who Spider-Man is. We know who Venom is. Don't start changing things just because I can't think of anything else to do. That's your failure as a writer, as a creator, as a whatever. Don't change things. And I'm hugely disappointed in Marvel for allowing these sort of things to happen. Whatever. This is not even me bitching. This is me elaborating and enunciating all the problems that I'm having with what's currently happening. If you didn't like what they did with that Ghostbusters movie, then I don't understand how this is any different. But if you do feel it is, please This is your opportunity to educate me. Try not to be a jerk because I'm just going to ignore your dumb ass, probably even block you. But the point is, if you can, because let's be realistic. I'm not offending. I'm not attacking anybody. I'm not even trying to attack Donny Cates. Like, that's not what I do. And I don't know who's going to write back to me. So I'm not calling you names or anything. So, you don't know anything. You're a jackass. Now I'm insulting you. Understand that's when I insult you. You know what I'm saying? That's when all of a sudden I got something to say back to you. Like, be cool. Be understanding. Like, this is your chance to actually be civilized and say something back. This is where I usually get some of the worst comments in a video. And it is what it is. If that's the only way you know how to communicate, here's the ultimate insult I can give to you. You have my sympathies. Because clearly you simply don't have the education or the mind to actually have an actual argument with somebody, a decent debate with somebody. No, I actually want to see, why do you think that this is different than the Ghostbusters movie? And if you like the Ghostbusters movie, maybe that explains something. That's not an insult. That's just, oh, okay. So you're actually okay with these things happening. Okay, I understand where you're coming from. I don't want to have to teach people how to argue. Okay, but you can argue with me. You can disagree with me vehemently, but explain why. And try not to use so many pejoratives because that just detracts from a conversation. Anyway, guys, let's have that conversation because the books are selling well. And I want to know what you guys are seeing that I'm not. Anyway, it might just be that I'm too old. I'm perfectly okay with that. I'm happy with how old I am. I'm happy with all the comic book knowledge that I've accrued at my age. Anyway, talk to you guys later. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Like the video on your way out. Class dismissed.